themselves. They ban the Mag, they ban the Centaur, Sand King, Doom, but they take out the Doom. They take out the Outworld Devourer. Now, again, this is a hero I love to talk about, Mike, and I feel like that laning phase is amazing. It's a bit harder to play. It has a higher skill ceiling, because you have to know when to turn on your reworked Essence Aura, basically, but it's very potent, and I think against For the Dreams lineup, it's going to do a lot of work.
10 seconds remaining.
Wait and see, John. It's still not a single target, though. Like, you look at FTD, they have so many ways of team fighting. So many things you have to watch out for. You've got the Chrono, you've got the Lich Ultimate, Chain Frost, you've got that Phoenix Egg you have to focus on, and there's an Axe Call still sitting there waiting. RNG. They took the first game, I wouldn't say convincing, but most of the time it was to their advantage.
Dire team pick.
Close this out.
Admiral Conquer.
Go for the Conqueror again. We have seen this hero being picked up a lot, especially when you've got all this team fight on the opposing side, just because that boat buff that you get. It just feels like you're doing no damage to all the heroes that got the run buff. Suppose FTD, what's their last pick?
Does look like they kind of lack a mid laner. I'm not sure who exactly on RNG is going to be in the mid. Of course, they've been running Kunkka mid, but in this case, you know, OD is a classic mid hero, and PA can also go mid. You can really rotate any of these heroes into any lane, and it kind of works out. So I'm wondering what FTD picks up here for their matchup, and if we're going to see that same situation as in Game 1, where, you know, you just had people going around switching lanes all the time, trying to find the ideal matchup. I'm curious as to see whether that will happen again.
45 seconds reserve time left. They still have a lot of time to think about this. Very hard, though, going up against OD lane, if that is the case. Of course, we did see RNG. They're not exactly afraid to swap lane. Like, they did that almost half the game, the first game. Just saw Densu just running around,
Your hero.
not making sure he's not up against that Razor. They do end up picking up the Lena for YRG, which felt like it was only like one of the only options left, because otherwise you're just going to get Astral the whole time you're in lane. So there you have it. Pick.
Yeah, I feel like it works out well. Again, you have some synergy with the rest of your team. You can follow up quite nicely from Big Axe Call, and you can, you just have a lot of utility in this game. You can burst down the PA quite well, so it's a pretty good pickup, and it does look like it will be run mid, of course. SRF is on the Dazzle, and Afu is in the Kunkka, so it's going to be a core Dazzle, Mike?
Yeah.
It's core Dazzle. Okay.
Go again.
Here we go. I want to see if it works out. Again, I think the only times you've seen Dazzle win is on that support role, but maybe RNG can make it work. You know, maybe they can.
I feel like it's not too bad. Like, you've got that, like the SRF Dazzle, bad Juju, that minus armor, like, Monet may just feel like he doesn't even go like for that Desolator or anything like that. He's going to have so much more damage coming out because everyone's missing armor on the side of FTD. I don't know, he had a great game last time. Like, that Nature's Prophet, another hero you don't see being played in the core role very often, but when it is, SRF, he made it work very well. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what he does with the Dazzle this time around.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Faith that he knows how to run this.
I mean, I don't think it's down to the player, really. Like, it's just down to the toolkit of the hero. Time and time and again, we've just seen the Dazzle kind of get a good start, and it just feels underwhelming. Granted, in this case, of course, you do have a PA who will maximize that, but in the last games, you didn't really see a hero that really enjoyed that minus armor as much. But, interesting first skill point coming out from Monet. He went for Blur level 1, Mike. He is just making use of that to really plant a deep ward, which is interesting.
It is interesting. suppose it is somewhat worthwhile, but going to lane. It looks like he will go down to the bot. He will let Setsu in the mid lane as the OD. So goes in the safe lane. He's not really going to require the dagger level 1. Like, it does make it easier to get a couple of those harder
30
creep kills.
seconds to battle.
Has faith in himself to be able to get those right kicks off at the perfect time.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's a bit hard though. PA does not have the greatest base damage. 48 to 50 swing. So those last hits are... They're gonna have to really time it well. Of course, these are pro players, Mike, so they probably know.
Hope so.
The battle
One would
Bot
hope.
lane. Monet gonna keep going for this. The Frost Shield does come out, but Monet does manage to get that bounty rune. He harassed quite a lot for his choice, but nevertheless, it does work out better for the side of RNG. Start off with 3 bounty runes again this game.
I feel like that was extra important this game because Monet is going to try to, you know, get himself a fast Quelling Blade so he can last hit a bit easier. And he's just about 30 gold off, so it shouldn't take too long for him to finally get enough gold. He can drop by the side shop to pick it up, and he's suddenly a bit better off in this lane.
He's going to be up against that Void, and that Frost Shield, so darn annoying to have to lane against, but you're right, it's only level 1 at this moment. Look at that top lane, SRF, we're putting a lot of harassment out onto that axe. Just that poison touch, like the fact that it just resets itself every time someone right clicks that hero. It's infuriating, you know what I mean?
It's definitely very annoying. Yeah, this axe is already not having a good time. He's caught way too much in harass.
Funny thing is, it's not just a matter of like Dazzle hitting them. Anyone hits them and it'll reset. Like that's probably the most imbalanced part about Poison Touch. Like you don't even need to put yourself in danger if you've got another teammate that can do it for you.
Yeah, it's very easy to refresh that debuff, of course, especially with something like the Kunkka. Although James is very far forward here.
Vigorous type though. Put up that harassment. Arfu. Get the X off. I don't think they're going to have enough time to kill James off. Does have that dive, although right click will follow him, but the Fairy Fire barely making it in time. That Poison Touch still ticking him down.
Yikes.
Got away with about 17 HP. Meanwhile, bot lane BT Faded also falls very low. Frost Shield does keep him alive. Salve up, back up to full HP now.
Yeah, a bit of a back and forth here. Both side lanes just really applying a lot of harass. I think the top lane is definitely favoring RNG more though.
Well, looks like the axe about to fall. That Tidebringer damage coming in, and SRF, he does manage to find the final right click, and now James as well.
What?
The thing is with this Dazzledron, it's although it doesn't seem to transition well as a core later on, in the laning phase, he is a powerhouse.
Oh yeah, definitely it. We mention this every time you see the Dazzle, of course. It's really strong in the lane. You apply a lot of harass. And this axe is definitely not having a good time, Mike. I mean, he just TP'd back in. His HP's down to half. He's going to have to use the salve he just bought. You're not going to be happy about that if you're this axe.
No. That's why he's got 8 tangos and a salve available on him right now. Well, though, we'll look at the other lane. YRG is having a decent lane up against Setsu on that OD. They're pretty much keeping up with each other. It's fairly even. Setsu did manage to get a few more denies, though. But either way, like, there's no real way for them to kill each other. Even if they do go, like, later on up until that level 6 or 7 mark. So bot lane, QY, pretty easy target. Dagger. Not going to be thrown up by Monet quite yet. That Frost Shield. It's too annoying to chase the Lich now. They'll just let that go. Set. Slow down. Like there will be no kind of chase on the silencer. They'll just leave him alone. BT Faded will continue up on some creeps. While Monet on that PA just doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, this lane is pretty even in terms of kill potential. I think right now, though, they definitely managed to zone Monet out much more. So that does give a pretty nice advantage to VT Faded in terms of last hits. It's not like Monet is lagging too far behind, but it is a lead for VT Faded right now. And as a PA, you do want a good start, right? You want to be able to farm fast. If you're going for that Battle Fury, you want to hit a decent timing because you need to come online fast as this hero. So, you know, anything that slows down Monet is very beneficial for FTD.
As I look away from that top lane, again, finding James and now the Axe being chased down. Poison Touch was pulled out anyways, couldn't keep going for this Axe, but he's almost out of region again. Got 3 tangos left, no salve. Meanwhile, QI is in trouble. They will get the banner in bot lane, but he loses his life for it. But back to the Axe, like he's got basically no region.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard time for this Axe. It's probably one of the hardest Axe lanes we've seen so far. Usually you see an Axe pretty much dominate or draw even. In this case, it's just a total wash. They are gonna try to get the kill on SRF now though.
Question is, can they? The Poison Touch comes out. He has got a heal, and he does do a fair bit of damage with that. Now, the body blocks coming out from R2 are quite nice. James may have to give his own life away for this kill. And I say that, but SRF is still running away, and he's got another heal available. Shadow Wave will come out. One more right click may do the job for this Axe, but he will get the call off just in case. R2 finds the trade, and SRF will end up finally going down. You've got to call that worth it. Like, you lose the Phoenix, but who the hell cares? Like, this Dazzle needs to die.
Yeah, and that's a lot of gold going the way of our Axe. That was 500 gold in total going his way just from that one kill. And that definitely helps. He was having a rough time in lane, so there you go. Nice bit of recovery for him, and he's now pretty much a level ahead of SRF, half a level ahead. He's 5, SRF halfway to 5, and that should help him a bit in this lane, which has been very rough.
Seth ends up losing his life just to QY, who was by himself, although QY now getting jumped by Monet. Does have the Frost Shield available, and with that, Monet cannot make this chase. In fact, VT Vader's there as well, just to provide some extra harassment. Gets a lucky bash in there as well. There's another lucky one. Vader, he won't chase for more. A bit too RNG based builds. Have the chrono up yet.
Yeah, nice way of shoving out Monet again. If you slow down this PA's farm, it's going to have a cascading effect if you keep them down, because, you know, they tend to rush those Battle Furies to farm up. If they can't get that, then they can't really teamfight as well. So it's going to be a bit of an issue for Monet if he doesn't get this splendid start. He is behind. Not a huge amount, but behind enough that it's noticeable.
Certainly so. But everyone, all lanes, like you don't really call any lane one per se. I guess like bot lane you could say the Void came out on top, and at top lane you said Dazzle came out on top. It translates to a late game, I imagine is the Void, but no, again, this is an SRF Dazzle, we haven't seen it yet. Don't really know what his itemization is going to be like or what to expect. So he is going for what looks like the Necromonicon first up.
Yeah, that's fairly standard from the core Dazzles we've seen. Really trying to play around that bad Juju reduction, of course, so the uptime on that, the uptime of your Necrobook is pretty high. So you kind of want to shove out lanes with that and try to take objectives.
Rotation coming in from YRG. Makes it to the bot lane, but decides better of it and goes back towards mid. Meanwhile, top lane though, the Axe has found himself in trouble. Boo will connect the torrent, and SRF still has the Poison Touch going on this Axe. It hasn't disappeared yet, and he will end up dying with it as well. Now, you see James come back in, but he's got hardly any HP. He's forced to Icarus dive out of there though. Monet, not in range for the dagger, he will let it go. It's like beat Faded ended up finding a trade in the mid lane where they actually ended up getting sense on that OD.
It looks like they did have to commit the chrono for that. So at the very least, for RNG, it's just one here they lose. On the other hand, this is really good utilization for Chronosphere. Again, you want to make sure you utilize that spell every time it's available, and getting that nice kill on mid is definitely a very big win for FTD.
Well, they're going again top lane, though there are many rotations coming out this time around, and Arfu probably will end up sacrificing his life for the sake of the team getting out. Trying to be a pain in the ass about it, but does end up finally going down. Culling Blade will get the job done. The axe. So it does feel like if those rotations didn't come in, that axe just would have been dead all over again.
Definitely
Find
so.
SRF. The battle hunger back off.
Yeah, it's a lot to really commit to this top lane, which I feel like you definitely need though. The Axe has had a very hard time this lane. Just got his tracks. It's been a while since we see Boot's first Axe, but it's coming out in this game. Don't blame him really, because he can't get a good time in his Vanguard or Blink.
The axe. The X stuff, both will connect as well. He still has that poison touch taking him down, and it looks like he is just gonna die. It's just that level 3 poison touch on. It's 40 damage per second at the moment. He's about to make it 50 damage per second. And it never ends, essentially, if you keep right-clicking. So it's just... oh, it's just so damn strong.
It is really strong. And the fact that it stacks now, so if you keep it up and then get another instance of Poison Touch on, it stacks. It's kind of dumb, like, the fact that it stacks. Oh.
Can't Icarus dive while there's a last word on you, John. Can't actually make it so you stop at a certain location. While silence. Kill the Phoenix, he did try to go for that, but fortunately for him it does not work out.
Yeah, bit of a shame. Again, I feel like FTD's lineup does have a few holes in this draft right now. James is going to hit that 6, which is going to fix that hole, but I do believe once you have that Supernova up, you are going to try to find RNG. You're going to need to smoke up, try to get a pick off on Monet or Setsu, and force the issue. You have really strong team fight, try to make the most of it, and slow down this game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle
It's
tower
not being pushed
is
in.
under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
James may get caught out again. Arfu will find him. Icarus dive is there, but he had the X already there as well. Looks like they do have the Chrono available if they want to go for this, and in fact they don't need it. But Arfu cops the Laguna Blade. He had the boat buff, so he's making a run for it, and they may actually have to commit the Chrono for this. Sanity's Eclipse as well as the Astral, and Arfu is still out. In fact, no, he finally ends up going down to James's egg, but I mean, you had to commit the egg and hope that tick damage got him down. That was a very scary moment for the side of FTD.
Definitely so. A nice pick off for FTD, but comes at a bit of a high cost really. That egg is pretty pivotal for your team fights. At the very least, you still have your Chronosphere, but again, I feel like if you're gonna go for these kinds of exchanges, you might as well go all in, right? Unfortunately, VT Fade was not in a healthy spot when they had to commit that egg, so couldn't really follow up with the Chronosphere either. And I feel like that is, again, another opening for RNG. They do smoke up on 2 heroes, and they're going to try to find something while that egg is down.
While that poison touch is available, I don't see James really getting out of this. Especially because they do have Arfu there with the X as well. Yeah, once that X is really landed, James understands he's dead. It's just a matter of who gets the kills. This time around, again, SRF will pick it up for himself. And now he is 5-1 with 3 assists on this Cord Hazel. I mentioned the Necro Monicom book did come up, though it does look like he'll change his mind and go for a Solar Crest rather than chasing for the level 3 book. I suppose it's fair enough.
You switched it back to the Necronomicon as you said that, Mike, so... Must have heard you, and it's like, well, nah. Gonna read a book, and keep reading. And, well, the push capability of the Dazzle with really just near 100% uptime mid-crew books is kind of wild. Like, he can push quite fast.
So VT jumps in, has the Chrono available if he wants to commit this. He might need to, and he does, but he gets X back into the Torrent. Now he jumps back in, Shallow Grave is up, SRF, he will not actually use it, there is an Axe there anyway. can just go through that. Almost ended in disaster though, thanks to Arfu. I'm a bit shocked to say he didn't throw the boat out, but I guess he just thought it was a waste, rather just held on to it.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. Again, I'm getting a bit worried about how these teamfights will break out for FTD, because that was not as clean as it was supposed to be, Mike. Like, they didn't get the kill on the chrono, they got it outside. Bit worrying, that's just one Dazzle with 3 heroes around him.
Just used the Icarus dive as well. He cancelled it off straight away after he saw the X, but it was just too late. James probably will lose his life. The sanity's, or the egg actually is there, but James ends up dying. Now the rest come in. The call wasn't there from the Axpo, and BT Faded, he has no chrono available. It's a lot of damage coming out from Setsu right now. It looks like they will end up finding YRG and QY. And that's 3 down for the side of FTD. And they're even hunting for more right now. They want to find Faded, who is going towards that bounty rune. But Arfu knows about this. Torrent will not end up connected. They can't find an X either. They do end up losing the tier 1 tower in the mid lane for FTD. And I mean, things are just getting from bad to worse.
Definitely so. Monet now is trying to farm up for that. Battle Fury is going to be up, and I'd say maybe about 10 minutes at the latest. But considering how fast and how involved he is, it could be faster if they find a couple of really beneficial kills. And once that Battle Fury is up, the PA is just going to farm like mad. I mean, you also have the same situation on VT Faded. He is top of net worth. He's going to have that Battle Fury up in the Void. It just doesn't feel as impactful as the Battle Fury on the PA, although it's basically functionally the same. It just feels like the PA benefits a lot more from that raw damage and the cleave, compared to a Void where, you know, it's still tied into that Chronosphere cooldown at this point in the game.
In bot lane, RNG are still making the push on that tier 1 tower. They will find it. They just go for more. They know these chronos haven't been amazing. They may feel overly confident to just go for this. We have the Necro 2 book now. In fact, yeah, SRF, he'll start moving forward for it. The chain, well, I should say the Frost Shield is very, very annoying, but they will find somebody top lane. Seth on that silencer does end up falling. And with that, they'll be able to probably find a tier 1 tower at the top lane, but they are going to cop a lot of damage on their own tier 2.
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
at the very least they secure that tier 1 top, but again, this tier 2 melting fairly quick at the bot lane is not the best news. I don't think your Phoenix and Lich alone will be able to pull that, but it looks like RNG is playing a bit more conservatively, not forcing the issue, and they will probably back off. No? Yes.
Shock, they backed off. Like, you can keep throwing those Necro units in. They'll just get the job done for you eventually, but rather he'll start farming up with them. With that, the T2 stands. ET Faded now as well. He has the Battle Fury up on the Void, so his farm will start to escalate quite fast. See, Monet getting very, very close to his own one. In fact, he's got it now. Has to bring it down to the Courier. Go into that farm game again, although, as I say that, the smoke is there from RNG. Faded, definitely the target. Arfu could not find the X in time though. But I don't believe Faded saw those heroes. Or maybe he did. He is running into the tree line. Yeah, he's definitely seen them.
They did have a ward in that area, and I believe Arfu's smoke popped, so he did have enough time to react, and manages to get away safely, which is pretty good news for FTD. Would be very bad time to lose your Void now, although this does open up the Roche for RNG, and it will just fall.
That Monet has that Aegis. Definitely tell they want to go for a team fight. Like, everything is still available on FTD, but RNG certainly not really respecting that. Now, FTD, they will smoke up.
Oh no!
What? Why did he
VT
throw
Faded again!
What? Why did he do that?
Setsu blinked out! He just blinked out!
Well, they are going to find the silencer Seth. He will end up dying though. in the mid lane. They have found the axe as well. The X is there. The torrent bow comes in. They will end up getting a very nice trade and set ball back throughout all this. And now YIG has been caught out. Does actually go into invis with that shadow amulet. And yeah, the detection's not there, but he runs out of it. Will end up going down. My goodness. It's, I didn't quite see the chrono there, like when it first popped up, but
oh man,
that suit literally just blinked out before it came in.
Yes, he saw the void, time walking in. He had enough time to turn around and blink out, and that was it. And the reaction time from Setsu is pretty darn good, but I have to admit it's a bit optimistic for the void to time walk max range and just hope that Chronosphere would drop down when you were pretty much in vision at that point from the smoke. Monet in spot of trouble, but he should be fine. But yeah, again, I don't want to be picking a guy. I don't want to sound like I'm picking on VT Faded, but these Chronospheres are costly, Mike.
Oh, they certainly are. Definitely some very risky plays going on. Speaking of risky, Setsu is going to end up finding QY on that lich. There will be a gaze there, but QY will end up falling regardless. Again, without that chrono available, you just look so much safer going up to these towers and start wiping them down. Not to mention, you do have the Necro 3 book now up as well on the Dazzle. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to take these towers with really no punishment.
Yeah, this is probably the best core Dazzle we've seen so far in this, so far over the course of 7.20, Mike. Really great maximization of that Necronomicon, and definitely won that lane. Won its lane very hard. So SRF is making it work and showing us why this is pretty darn good.
You know, he's running back towards his base, although Monet is waiting and he will creep skip. With that blur, YRG has to be so careful right now, and Monet's found him. He's going to make the jump. No lucky crits quite yet. So they do get the slow off the Necro Book units, and with that, the Astral is there as well. YRG should just be dead here. So nice call comes out, and now a chrono in the back lines as well. It does land on for free. So VT Faded, can he deal the damage? Nobody dies quite yet. And now it looks like he may just end up dying. The global silence was there in time, and that's 2 down for the side of FTD. John, he got a nice chrono off, but the rest of his team was trying to keep YRG alive.
It's that split focus that's really costing FTD right now. Again, they have really good team fight. We're just not seeing it come out. Just like in the first game, it took a while for that good team fight to come out. Maybe in the face of this defense, it might get going now, but without that Chronosphere, it's just that much harder, Mike.
Yeah, and you've still got that Aegis available, Monet. Like, I don't see the side of RNG backing off. There's just no reason to. Unless that Aegis expires on them. I'm pretty sure they still have a minute or two left.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But they are going to back off.
Pretty conservative play. It's just...
There's no chrono.
They've been playing safe, Mike. You have to admit, since game 1, RNG has been playing on the safe end. Like,
I appreciate that. Well, they are going to find QY. QY just runs into the jungle, like... Now, VT Faded comes in. Nice call is there by accident. Now the Supernova comes out. This doesn't look great for the side of RNG. They will find R2 at the very least. And now FTD, well, they're actually falling a couple heroes themselves. The Dazzle being chased down. Monet is clearing through them. James, no, he'll go for the axe instead, and he does find him. Now, Setsu does find the Astral Imprisonment on VT Faded. They end up finding the Phoenix as well by the looks of it. Faded still trying to make a run for it. Does have... Well, he's dead anyway. And they're still chasing the Phoenix, but Sepp ends up fighting with the last word.
And not heard.
I mean, I feel like they made a mistake by backing off through that mid lane, but then the thing is, FTD literally gives them a gift of running up that high ground. Like, you probably should know exactly where they're going to be if they backed off from the mid lane.
Yeah, again, it's a bit strange from FTD. These, the moments they choose to go in, it's just awkward. At very least, when their Void respawns are going to have Chronosphere, they're not going to have the egg, but I don't think anything's going to happen for the next 30 seconds. It looks like RNG is just kind of content choking them out and farming up their jungle, making it really hard, finding pickoffs before really dedicating themselves to anything yet.
They may catch the axe out now as well. Scout him out. The top lane, the tier 2 tower. Sepp will get started on that by himself. Yeah, we do see the Yasha and Kaya coming up now on the OD as well. And it looks like they're ready for another team fight this side of RNG. No, they don't have their dazzle round quite yet. SRF, he's making his run up, but he's still far enough away. And now QY gonna get jumped on. The global silence was there, so he can't throw out a chrono on VT Faded either. Axe will end up losing his life, and now the chrono, he gets one of them. I don't even think he's going to kill the OB off, although Sunray comes in, the Astral is there. Meanwhile, Monet still bursting in the backgrounds, and now VT Faded. Looks like he probably will end up dying. It's going to be a full team wipe going on here. Faded does time walk. He's still going after Setsu right now, but he's just dead. It's not a good feeling, John, when you commit the chrono on one hero and you can't even kill that hero.
I think that's really what you have to face up as a Void when you go for Battle Fury. You're just not doing the damage even with that Yasha. It's not going to be enough when you're playing from behind like this as well. It's just not pumping out the damage you want. It's a consequence of this build going for the Battle Fury again, which is really just mainly for farming. It does not give you enough damage. You'd probably want something, you know, if you really wanted to take these team fights, you go for a Maelstrom or a Mask of Madness is kind of acceptable. Go for those kind of early items, but you just lack impact.
Axe jump in with the call, now Sunray as well. But the Astral dodges the Laguna Blade coming out. Perfect timing, and now Monet, BKB's up and Axe is dead. BT Faded went in, but no chrono available. There's just not much he can do as a Void, and they've lost that at least one Rax. It does look like, again, RNG. They back off, but it was a bait, and the Sanity's Eclipse, my goodness, Setsu just melts him.
Yeah,
he hadn't even stolen much in, but it was just more than enough.
They're just so far ahead right now, like, in terms of XP and items that you can burst these heroes down with. I mean, Axe is level 12, Mike. So, you know, that stat gain per level, which should help you out in closing that gap, it's not there. And it's a bit scary going up against this OD when he has that ultimate, even with just very few stacks taken from his Arcane Orb. You're just asking for trouble.
Well, RNG are setting up for that mid lane push now. Faded, he will have chrono in 2 seconds. I feel like that egg has to be nearby to just really get the maximum control out of these chronos. Certainly so. With that Battle Fury, he's not dishing out enough damage to actually take anyone out. Not the cause anyway. You may be able to find a silencer, but that's not going to be worth your chrono. Now Arfu, he gets an X off on the Void. The boat comes in. He wants a Time Walker, but the Torrent is there as well. And now the Yules comes in as well. Can they actually lock him down? But with a Global Silence, the answer is definitely yes, you can. That's a dieback on the Void now.
Yeah, it's not looking good. This defense is just that much harder. I don't know about this, Mike. They're gonna have to really force RNG in a bad spot to get a successful defense here. Otherwise, I think they're just gonna have to accept they're gonna lose their mid-racks as well.
They've accepted that fact. So no, call is there. Now the egg is out, but Setsu just starts focusing on it, and it looks like he's gonna take it out by himself. Now the axe as well, he's down. Chainfrost bouncing through them, they don't even care, and it's GG. RNG will pull this off 2-0. That was, again, I wouldn't say a convincing series, but this game certainly felt that way.
This game was definitely quite convincing. Like, game 1 was a bit tighter, but this time around, RNG just, they took over the early game, they worked